Vision. Do you have it? What do I mean by vision? I mean, do you know where you're going? Diana Ross said it best. Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Do you know? All right, it's time to talk about your vision. And that's what we're doing on this episode of What's Keeping You Up at Night podcast. I am your host, Kiné Corder, the leading national certified counselor specializing in financial hypnotherapy for stress. And I am building the world's largest global barber network offering mental health and money systems. Now, today on What Keeps You Up at Night podcast, we're talking about vision, which everybody can talk about vision. And mostly on this podcast is not specifically for barbers, but that's what I do in my day job, let's say. And then on the side, I run this podcast. Today, I am not feeling like recording a podcast today. I have a lot of busy work. I am leaving DC. This is my last Monday in DC. In 2 days, I will be leaving DC, going to Chicago. I have a lot of things that I need to get done. And so I'm really not present, and I'm trying to get present. Right now, I am in September. So, right, because I have to pack for Chicago, I have to pack for Nice, and then I have to figure out where I'm going next. So, that is my question to you. Where are you going next? Right now, my life is planned in like kind of like I think 90-day increments, but sometimes it can be as little as 3 weeks. So, well, actually, no, it's as little as 10 days. We'll only be in Chicago 10 days, but this stuff has been planned a while ago. And so I'm planning, I'll be in Chicago 10. I'm telling you all of this for a reason. So hold on, there's a point. So I'm being in Chicago for 10 days. I have been here in DC since May. So May, the whole month of a couple of weeks in May, the whole month of June, and and so far a week in July. So I've been here pretty much 2 months. I think I could say I've been in DC 2 months. I'm going to be in Chicago 10 days. Then I'm going to be in Nice. I don't know. I planned on being in these 2 months, but I just got some news today that might make it 1 month. And then, so now I have to figure out what to do after that. But whatever I do after that, I want it to last at least a year. And there's only a few places I can go and be there a whole year without becoming a resident there. Now, I open that up a little bit more if I work on becoming a resident in that place. I'm fidgeting if you are watching this on YouTube because I'm thinking and talking to you at the same time. So if I decide to become a resident in that place, that opens up a few more options. But that's the other part of the vision that I want you to look at. Like, do you see yourself in the US long term? Do you see yourself in the career you're in long term? Do you see yourself in the relationship you're in long term? Do you see yourself? Like when you look at yourself, is this who you want to be long term? These are some of the things I want you to think about when it comes to vision. I do offer the vision session free if you watch the recording, not if you want to do it with me. If you want to do the vision session with me, absolutely that costs the link. Both links will be in the show notes of this video. But let's talk about what goes into this vision. So when you think about your vision, there are 7 prosperity pillars. And the prosperity pillars are wealth, health, relationships, what I call recreation, but that's like your fun, your hobbies, and that stuff. And then there is reputation, which is kind of like the legacy you want to leave. And then there's time and there's location. So when you think about these 7 things, what vision do you have for them? Now, you can do the vision session by yourself, but it becomes a lot easier when you can just close your eyes and allow your mind to wander and listen to my voice. And then my voice can guide you through the process. And I use this process. We will hit all 7 of those by just looking at your day. And whether it's a day off or a work day, you should still feel inspired by your day. most of us go through life trying to get through the 5 days so we can get to a day or two of fun. So we have our 5 days of misery, and then we have our one day of rest or fun, and then we have our other day of rest or fun. But we don't have enough fun and rest baked into the rest of the days, so it makes us uncomfortable in life. Now, being a barber, you have a lot more room for freedom. A hairstylist, to me, as a business owner, you have room for freedom, but it can be harder to find that freedom. Now, as someone that is an employee, it might be easier to know when to take the freedom, those 2 days that you have off, but you have very little control over the other time. Am I right? Like, think about that while I take some of my tea. And as you think about that, somebody else having control over your life, they control your money, they set the amount you can make. Yes, you can go to them and ask them for a raise, but you can't just decide one day you're going to raise your prices. And even when you're in a business, raising your prices comes with something. It has to be well thought out, it has to be well delivered. We talk about this in the Prosperous Barber Journal in the business systems section. But when you think it through, finding a new price range might mean you are changing your target market. And if you want to keep that same target market, then you're going to be limited there. So sometimes you have limitations with your wealth, even with your health, because if you live in America, I'm just saying, then you have limitations with your health. Now, everywhere you go, there's going to be something, some kind of limitation in any location. But one of the biggest limitations I find in the US is diet. I'm not able to eat properly in the US, so I have to find a location that I can eat properly. That because that location is affecting my health. And this is getting a little woo woo, but also the planets align sort of differently depending upon where you live. And I know some of you don't believe in stuff like that, but I'm just telling you, and it's true. And you'll see it. Like you'll be. I call Nice my lucky place because I don't know what it is, but I'm sorry. I call Dubai my lucky place. I call Nice my happy place because I don't know what it is, but like that south of France, Mediterranean area, maybe even Spain, I just feel very happy there, very peaceful, ease. It's a lot of ease there. And then when I'm in Dubai, it's just a lot of luck. Like things just happen. And my life is typically like that. I do live a very lucky life, but I plan a lot so that the luck can find me. I have a lot of things in place that allow my nervous system to attract the luck. So, but when I'm in a place like Dubai, it seems like my luck is amplified. I don't know. I can't explain it to you. It's just the way it is. And so, it's like electricity. I can't explain electricity to you, but I know it exists and I know I'm going to use it. So I do. And I know it benefits me. So I do. So it's kind of like that. I'm sure there are other things that you utilize that you don't quite understand. Use it anyway if it benefits you. So as you think about your vision and like Diana Ross says, do you like the things that life is showing you? Like, are you good right here? Do you feel like, oh, I'm going to retire and I feel like I can retire comfortably? Do you feel like, oh, I get to do the things for my kids or my grandkids or my nieces and nephews or people will remember me for this thing? Like, have you set those things in motion? Are they happening for you? And are you even recognizing if it's not happening? Yeah. And that is what you'll need to really check in and see. And that's my job is to bring the awareness. My job is the enlightener. I I'm solution oriented. So yes, I'm a solutionist, but that's what I do for work. That's what I do for pay. When it comes to what I do for free, it's enlightenment. I just bring aha moments. I do it in grocery stores, in parking lots, at parties. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like my party trick. Yeah, it is. I could do it on stage. I long for the day when I get to do it on stage, and sometimes I do, but not enough. That is like my favorite pastime is speaking, and I love to be on the stage and helping people have those aha moments, get that insight, awareness about themselves because we spend so much time focused externally. And yes, your vision is going to be an external manifestation of what happens inside of you. But it has to happen inside of you first. Like you have to feel it, but you also have to see it. Hold on. And if you can see it internally, like feel it, believe it, then you will soon see it. You will soon see it manifest in your life. I was trying not to use that word because I know that triggers people. But the very definition of the word manifest, not like, oh, I'm manifesting, woo woo. I'm talking about like this happens, cause and effect, kind of like that. I'm looking at cause and effect. You do this and this happened. Chemistry, yeah, science, metaphysical science for science. Yes, metaphysics is a science. Duh. So, so um, let's go back to your vision. And if you haven't already, just start thinking about that wealth. What is the amount? What is that number? And in the vision session, it's a lot easier because you just visualize the things you want in your life. And then later, after the visualization, you can calculate them. And then you think about your health. What health challenges are you having right now that you don't want to have? You know, are you smoking too much? Are you drinking too much? Are you not exercising? Sometimes it's not about what you're doing as much as about what you're not doing. Are you not getting enough physical activity, or is physical activity the only thing you're doing for your health? And then are you going to binge and do other things that don't serve you? What about your relationships? Are you keeping them intact? Are you communicating? Are you helping where you need to help? Are you asking for help where you need help? Yeah, I know, right? You're so self-sufficient. You're so responsible that you might not be asking for help, thinking that you just got to get it done yourself. Okay, so the people in your life, they want to help. They do. I know it feels like you're all alone and you're by yourself, but that's one part of your relationships that you could probably address is asking for help, especially if you are a hero, the type of person that helps everybody else. We can go on, but this isn't necessarily about bringing awareness as much as it's about addressing, taking the time to look at your vision, your future, and where you want it to be. Where do you want to go? Where do and sometimes that starts with figuring out what you don't want. A lot of times I ask people, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And they're like, I don't know, but I can tell you what I don't want. And I'm like, okay, start there. That's a great start. So that might be where you start. Now, we talked about reputations. Let's talk about your recreation. What activities do you like that maybe you're not doing right now? You want to make sure you get in your life. Um, Maybe you want to do more of it. Maybe you are doing it, but just not enough. Maybe you maybe you want to start something new, learn something new. You know what my hobby is? It's silly. But my hobby is finding a hobby. Because most of my hobbies are like, I don't know, just they don't sound like hobbies. Not the way people make them sound like people like to cycle and I'm trying to think of hobbies. I love tennis, but it takes a lot. Like because I move around, I don't travel with a tennis racket. Like I love tennis. I don't like competing in tennis. Because why? That's why. I'm not going to Wimbledon. So unless I can compete at the highest level, I don't want to compete. And yeah, anyways, I need a new hobby. So my hobby is finding a hobby. I just try new things, try new things, try new things. And I have fun trying new things. That's my hobby. My hobby is finding a hobby. So maybe you know yours. Then as far as recreation goes, I love spending time with friends. I do not like going out to eat. I can enjoy it in other countries, but in the US it's very difficult because of the way that food works. And when I'm in other countries, I do it a little bit more than I do it in the US, but that's just not fun for me. Like I'm not a foodie. I'm never going to say I'm a foodie. Yeah, it's just not fun for me. I don't know. I don't see what everybody gets out of it. This sun is so bright. It's shining right in my face. So if I'm squinting, that's why. I'm sitting in front of a window. But normally I would go down to the co-working area. I just said, you know what? I'm just going to record from the apartment. I have too much on my brain to pack up this whole thing and go down to the co-working space. Most of the buildings we in part that's part of how we choose our buildings is We want them to have co-working space. We would like the apartment to also have working space. That happens 80% of the time, not all the time. Sometimes we're working at like a dining room table. Back old school days before people were working from home. Nowadays, it's almost always a home office or a home office area in a lot of the places we live. I'll talk to you later about like where we live when we're in the U.S. and how that works. It's a specific company, but I don't want to be doing it much more because I'm going to spend the next year outside of the US. That's my goal. And so that vision that I have, like if I close my eyes and I see what that place is like, what is the next year like? You don't have to really focus on the next 10 years. Yeah, I sometimes ask you about retirement. Like when we get to that reputation area of the prosperity pillars, that does have to include retirement, but that also is like afterlife. After you're gone and you're no longer here, how are people remembering you? And so that's your reputation, but also your time. How do you want to spend your time? How much control do you want to have on your time? And then your location. And that's where I am right now. I'm really digging deep into my location. Uh, Everyone knows by now who listens that UAE is my focus. I I, I am working to be there, and the south of France and Spain are like my backup. And then Plan C would be Albania. But forget the places. When I just think about the location and what I would like. I know I love having the combination of water and mountains. I did not know that before, but I've now lived a few places that have both. Nice is one of those places, has the sea, I think it's the Mediterranean Sea, not exactly, but they call it that. I'll explain later. Geographically, it's not actually the Mediterranean Sea, but never mind that. So you have the Mediterranean Sea, and then you have like the French Alps, and the French Alps are like 30 minutes away. And when we're in Nice, the beach is like a 5 minute walk, depending upon where we live. Sometimes it can be as much as 15. But I love having the water and the mountains. Um, I love I love warmth. I don't really need to experience cold, or if I do, it just needs to be a day or two. Um, I love um, I love walkable. I love this place to be walkable, and I love friends. I love being able to meet people. I think that was some of the places like Thailand. It was hard because I never met anybody while I was in Thailand. I know there's like tons of expats in Chiang Mai now, but I actually don't prefer to be expats. I prefer to meet locals. And so when I just close my eyes and imagine the place, I just imagine myself feeling great. Imagine myself working 4 to 6 hours. But by doing that, I make the amount of money that I'm targeting. And I have a low target right now, which is multiple six figures. But my seven figure number is a little bit further away. It's not in the next 12 months. If I get there, I get there. That'd be awesome. Thanks, universe. But um, calculated the numbers based on this multi six figure goal that I set for myself. The barbers that I work with know what it is. I share it. I'm not a secretive person, but I don't share things with everyone. I share a certain amount of information with certain amount of people, and when it comes to your vision, you may want to do that as well. So there's like this blanket information on the internet about not sharing your dreams with people, and that's not the case, because if you don't share your dreams with people, there's somebody who could help you. Going back to that, that needs to know your dream in order for them to help you, your vision. And so, and you can you can replace dream and vision. I use the word vision because it feels um more targeted. Like I can as a hypnotherapist, I can take that vision, I can get you to open up and express that vision, and then I can get you to play that vision over and over again like a movie. And the more you play it over and over and over again, your brain goes towards familiar, so you don't even have to work with your brain to do that. It's actually very easy. If you listen this far in, you probably understand me and it'll be okay for me to explain this to you. But your conscious brain is where you're thinking and meaning and, going through the day. But your subconscious brain is a little bit more esoteric than that. It doesn't communicate with words as much. It communicates with pictures. So when that vision comes to your conscious brain, it's like a talk between your conscious brain and your subconscious brain. And your subconscious brain is holding all of those emotions and feelings that it wants to feel. And it might have some of them now, but it may not. And it doesn't know how to get it. And some of those feelings are going to be new, and the brain doesn't really like new. It likes familiar. So it's going to go towards familiar. So one of the things you're going to have to do is give it that vision over and over and over again, so that that vision becomes common, normal, familiar. And then once it becomes familiar, the brain will go in that direction because it naturally goes unconsciously in that direction towards that thing that you showed it that was familiar. And so it'll start doing things unconsciously to get you to that place. So don't you worry, just keep seeing that vision over and over and over again. And like I said before, if you want to do the vision session, whether with me or on your own, it's offered for free to do it on your own. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. I don't think I said that. Subscribe to this YouTube channel because you never know what I'm going to offer in this What Keeps You Up at Night podcast, because it is just about random things that keep you up at night. But for the next few weeks, we are talking about your vision and your vision coming to life. And we're talking about mostly retirement and the next 10 years, and really planning out those next 10 years. But before you do that, just start with this 1 year. Just start with the next 12 months. You can do that using the vision session that is going to be offer free. When you click on the resource page, everything that I offer is there. So there'll be a link. It'll have the resource page. It'll say something like prosperousbarber.com/resources. And so you click on that, and then on that resource page, just scroll down and it'll give you a few options of how we can work together successfully, even if it's for free, you just listening to my voice, or if you hire me, then we can get together and we can talk deeper. So all of that is available to you. But if nothing else, just subscribe to this YouTube channel. It means a lot to me to know that there's somebody listening to all of this. Already, we have close to 3,000 subscribers, and I'm very grateful for that and for you. If you're one of them already, then thank you for being here. And if you're not already, become one. That's all you have to do. Click the little subscribe button, and that's all. So that's our vision session conversation for today. If that is what's keeping you up at night, then watch this video again. If you didn't have that aha moment, if you did have that aha moment, then let's see what happens next for you. I'll be here next week. We'll talk more about what's next. We're going to talk about clarity next week. And so I'll see you sooner. Love you muchly.